Good morning, Mortgage Coach community. It is Wednesday, and this will be the third time I have focused a Wednesday live experience with a realtor. So for the past 2 weeks, we've had realtor Glenn Bill. What's up, Glenn?
What's up, Dave? Good to be with you and the Mortgage Coach community, as always, for part three.
Part three. So I have gotten just a lot of great feedback saying Glenn is killing it. So we thought we would add some more agents. And Glenn had a vision on how he would do this mastermind. So I'm not going to be the facilitator, while Glenn is a top agent that does 125 plus transactions annually. He's going to be the facilitator of this. I have also asked Scott Nicholson, Mortgage Coach Grandmaster, who's done well over 1,000 total cost analysis, to come in at the halfway point and deliver a mortgage strategy that could help agents sell more homes and generate more leads from their customer base. So when he comes in at the halfway point, I want you guys to imagine you're Scott. He is here to show you how to show up and call it the right hook. Like 90% of this call is just value, value, value for agents. And then there will be a 5-minute right hook where it's value for the agents, but it's also mortgage business for you as a mortgage professional. So Scott, you gonna keep it to 5 minutes, brother?
5 minutes.
All right, and we're gonna do it like a gong, gong.
Yep.
I'm gonna time you.
Yeah.
All right.
I was surprised because I picked one of the agents on this panel. They don't know it. And I picked one of their properties, so we're gonna highlight that.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear who it is and what it is. So Glenn, I'm gonna hand it off to you to conduct the vision. And again, we're not calling it a mastermind, we're calling it a collaborative because that's what Glenn likes. So Glenn, rock it out, brother.
I know. Hey, Mortgage Coach community, it's great to be with you for our third segment on this. And hey, masterminds are great, but you know what? Everybody's doing a mastermind, and we need to understand there's a new normal, there's a new way to do business, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a new way to frame and promote things. So we talked about last week how to get inside the hearts and minds of agents, and we broke down the 4 levels of agents, and we're starting with the top tier of agents. We have absolute rock star realtors with us that are going to share with you guys their vision of how to get inside their hearts and minds if you're a mortgage lender, which you all are. And we're also promoting and helping you with the idea of creating collaborations with agents in your markets to deliver content and virtual meetings with their customers. The main piece of gold that we are trying to get across to loan originators to serve not only the real estate agents that sit in front of us, these extremely successful people, but understand that if you can help your realtors' customers be more successful, if you can serve their customers, that is where the gold is for your relationship. It's not necessarily about serving the agent. It's about how can I take my realtor partners and make them look like superstars to their client base. This is the idea, putting them on a virtual tour or a virtual seminar with their client base and discussing what their customers need. So what I'd love each of our rockstar realtors to do today is to just give us a brief introduction, tell us a little bit about your production, and then let me know if in fact you have actually done a virtual summit with all of your client base. And we can start with Stacy and then just go down real quick. And I just have a few questions that I'm going to let you elaborate. So welcome to you all. And Stacy, talk to us a little bit about the idea I just set out.
Awesome. Well, my name is Stacy Barry. I am in the market in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am with Century 21 Sheets, and I'm excited to be here. So thank you very much for having me. We are doing well. We are considered essential in this area, so we're able to show some properties, which has been nice. But as far as the town hall meeting goes, I have not held one for all of my clients with that particular means. I definitely have been innovative in changing things up, but I have not had a town hall meeting with all of my clients.
Cool. And then like, what's the one virtual thing you have done that's worked that's been cool?
You know, pre-listing appointments on FaceTime have been really awesome. I've done several Zoom meetings with people, and So I would say the pre-listing appointment has saved me a lot of time.
Cool. So to recap, you have not engaged your client base as a group to all jump on with you in a webinar.
Uh-huh.
And if a loan originator said, hey, I'd love to engage your client base and make you look like a superstar, would you let them do that?
Absolutely. I'm kind of in the works with people right now to come up with some new ideas. So I think it's your title for this stuff, collaboration, is actually perfect, because I think with everything going on right now, we're all going to really need to work together to come up with some fresh ideas to stand out.
Right. And this all started with the thing, why realtors need rock star loan originators now more than ever. That's really where this started. John, talk to us a little bit about who you are, where you did. Now, Stacy, just real quick, you did over what, 230 units last year? Unmute. Go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We ended up doing around 250 units and about 58 million in home sales.
Yeah, congratulations. Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome job. John, talk to us. Tell us where you're from, what company, how many units, and what you're doing virtually to reach your client base.
John Tsai from Vancouver, Canada. Hello, everyone. Yeah, last year we did 110, and that equates to be about 100 million. And what I'm doing right now engage is through Zoom mainly. And I haven't put all my clients in one Zoom yet. I think that's a great idea. But I am doing 10 videos a day, or try to, Facebook. And then I make about, I was making 40 contacts a day just through phone as well, calling out to my online leads, and then doing virtual Zoom listing appointments. As far as virtual goes, I think that's about it. I'm, open to ideas.
Cool. So if a loan originator approached you and said, I'd like to make you a celebrity to your existing client base and have this town hall meeting, or to give value to your clients, would you consider doing that with them if they set it all up?
Yeah.
All day, right?
Yeah, of course.
These are top producers, loan originators. You're wondering how to get in? This is the idea. Tina, let's go to you. Tina, tell us where you are, how many deals you're doing, and what type of virtual whatever is working for you right now.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Beliveau. I am in Baltimore, Maryland. I've been in real estate since 2005. I've had a team since 2013. At our peak, we were doing about 175 transactions annually. For the last 3 years, I was passively owning my team, and we did over 100 units annually for the last 3 years while I was a manager of 3 Keller Williams franchises. And I'm back in production and super fired up to be full on in my business again. And this is just such like a perfect, I mean, there's nothing about COVID that's good on its face, but it's the silver lining for us is that it's forced me to reevaluate prior strengths in the earlier iteration of my business and figure out how to take what I used to do with Facebook, which is really my predominant area where I cultivated that 175 unit year as an example. 90% of it was my sphere, repeat referral, and Facebook friendships.
Cool.
So my Facebook had gotten kind of stale for a variety of reasons, partially being more promoting my brokerage than my real estate services for the last 3 years. So I've had this awesome opportunity to like fix a lot that wasn't working. And one of the things that we just implemented is a private Facebook group for our entire client base, which is not even that innovative, but I had a lot of ideas about why that wasn't a good idea and decided to just get over that and do it. I invited about 600 people on Sunday. We're up to 130 some people that have accepted into the group so far. And then I have a financial advisor that I'm really close with who arranged an economist who's really well known in our area. He's on the radio and in the news a lot. So he has some name recognition. So 2 weeks from yesterday, he's going to do a town hall state of the economy virtually for my client base, as well as the financial advisor through GoToMeeting. So I'm using that to drive engagement into our group and also through email. So it's been a really great response. It's rare that I write emails to people where people text me like, hey, this is great. But a lot of people were like, wow, you got someone really legit. That's so awesome. So the feedback on that has been great. And I have a lot of other plans for the Facebook group. I've seen other people do really innovative stuff with their clients from a business standpoint or like a charitable standpoint, and then the fun standpoint. Yeah. So I'm gonna put together some trivia with stuff that I'm into. Like I'm a really big fan of The Office as an example. So I'm gonna do like an office trivia night and invite whoever wants to collaborate and things like that. And then the other thing I'll say is I have come back to email as one of my biggest value adds to clients. I've started, when I wasn't running my team, we were sending crappy newsletters twice a month to my whole sphere with like our listings, and it was just spam. It was pretty, but it had no intrinsic value. So when I took the team back over in January, I started writing heartfelt emails to the database about my thoughts, not like personal, but like I made it clear that it was a letter from me, and I gave people resources on COVID. I just sent them a link to the Facebook group and explained the value of the events we're doing, and my open click-through and reply rates are through the roof, and people can tell that there's like a human who's really working hard to be a resource. So it's been, I've had to spend a lot of time figuring out how to come at all of this with an angle that people really appreciate and hopefully even like touches them in some way. And it's been a lot of effort, but it's been totally worth it. So I hope that's not too long of an answer, but this has been like my one thing is like, how do I cut through the noise and rebuild my influence after being kind of dormant for a while.
Right. Well, good. I'll steal 2 of those ideas if it's okay.
Please steal anything I say.
And I'm guessing if a loan originator came and said, I'd like to take that private Facebook group to a new level with some unbelievable screen shares and financial analysis, my guess is you'd say, yeah, how soon can you do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So interviews, Q&As, we're going to be doing all of that. And I don't want to keep talking, but maybe there's an opportunity to come back later. I'm also revamping our client gifting program through this really great software that I found to send affordable gifts and cards through an automated system that I had never heard of before. So I'm also upping the real life stuff, but I'm going to use the group and contests and leaderboards and all that kind of like tech-based stuff to drive engagement. So
what is it? Go ahead and tell us, and then we'll get to
yeah, it's called Banner Season. And if you just want to hop on the website, you'll see the rundown. It's pretty clear, but it's super affordable, and you can send anything, custom gifts, everything's customized. There's no additional branding from the sender as well, like send out cards I was experimenting with. I just wasn't happy with the branding. So this is kind of that like mix of, it looks really good, the price point is good, and then you can even text they have like an AI assistant, and you can just write like, hey, and then it's like, what do you want to send? And you can do it all through your phone. So if you're scrolling Facebook and you see that someone's dog just passed away or whatever, you can gift people on the go instead of like never doing it, which is sort of what happened with me.
Cool.
So I'm trying to marry that all together. And
that's good, Tina. And the bottom line is mortgage professionals that understand that our job now is more than just doing good faith estimates. And if we can help agents, these top agents, engage in this mission, and you can hear what they're saying, that's gold. That's what's going to set you apart. That's going to be the difference. That's going to help you emerge as a leader in the new normal. Nicole, you get the prize for best background today. Awesome job. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what your production is, and let us know a little bit about what you're doing virtually.
So I'm Nicole Solari, and I'm sitting here in my backyard in Napa Valley. So it's a real background, not one of the fake backdrops, which is pretty special. I work in Napa and Solano County, so we service those 2 counties in Northern California. And just to give you an idea of production, let me back up. I just virtually celebrated my 6th year anniversary in real estate. And last year we did 197 units for about 80 million. And this year, pre-COVID, we were on track to do 300. We're 73 closed and 56 in the pipeline.
Wow, that's huge. And what brokerage are you with?
I'm independent.
Independent. What's the name of your company?
It's Solari Group is the team name, and then Level Up Brokerage for the independent agents.
Good for you, Nicole. That's fantastic. Talk to me a little bit about your virtual strategy and what you're doing to engage with your client base, and how are you providing value to those existing buyers and sellers, past buyers and sellers that you have? What are you doing to be the rock star realtor I know you are?
Well, I have to say I'm really enjoying the virtual listing appointments. One, I'm never late, which is awesome. I'm perpetually late. Northern California, we have the worst traffic. So always on time for those. And it really, you know, it's a little hiccupy with the technology sometimes, especially with the older demographic or the less tech savvy. But once it gets going, it really does run smooth because you can really control, you know, the screen shares and what they're seeing and still interact face to face with them. So, you know, they're engaged and they're paying attention. So I've done about, a dozen virtual listing appointments since going in shelter in place. And it's been great. So I really like that.
That's very good. Congratulations to you. That's so good. I know that we're almost to halfway, so I'm going to hit you with 2 questions. If we can get 2 quick answers, then we'll let Scott share his unbelievable wisdom with us. I can tell he's ready. You ready to go, Scott? So 2 questions, because ultimately this is where the rubber meets the road. Number 1, what do you feel your existing customer base needs right now, right? Past customers, existing customers, that mailing list of yours. What do you think they're looking for? What do you think they're craving? What do you think they would tune into your Facebook private group to engage with you on? And number 2, tell me the greatest approach or the greatest, I don't know, I'll call it a gimmick or sales tactic that a loan originator has ever done with you or for you, where you're like, that dude rocks, he's getting my next loan. So I want to know about your customers, what they're needing, and what's an absolute freaking great thing that an LO did that you said, that built loyalty for me. It got inside my heart and mind. We'll just go the same way. And if you could answer both of those real quick, then we'll get to Scott. So Stacy, 2 things, customers and LO.
Sure. I mean, I've tried a couple things. Our team there's 4 of us girls on the team, and we're really into social activities even before the whole COVID. So I think that's been one of the biggest advantages that we've had is people don't wonder why we're calling or texting. But we've tried 2 things already where we kind of had more of an educational setting, having a lender, a finance person, you know, our real estate team on a Zoom call. And then we tried the other method where it was just like log in, say hey, catch up. And I had 3 times the amount of people right now do the login for the hey, what's going on, catch up. I mean, for me, it was awesome. It turned into business, but I think the approach that we took was not a hard sell on here's what we're going to tell you, and it was more interactive the other way for when people logged on. So I thought that was really great. And that also was just an example right before all this happened. We had come learn about home buying, more of a, hey, actually we had a loan officer, an accountant, and an estate attorney come into the office. And I was shocked. We didn't have that great of a turnout, to be honest. But the next week, I had a Mardi Gras party at my Airbnb, and I had 30 awesome women come that were all local businesses. So I think the approach of it is really important right now. And people just want to be social and pick up, get on a quick Zoom call. And then the other question was
loan originator. What was the one activity, the one approach, or the one service that an LO did for you that just knocked it out of the park where you said, I love this LO?
I think a lot of it is the consistency. To be honest, I think loan officers need to be a little bit more picky on who they want to work with. I mean, I have certain people who are constantly reaching out, and I'm thinking we would not be a good match. I mean, we don't do business the same at all. I would drive you crazy. you know, let's think a little bit more on, you know, who you want to work with too. So I think what I've learned is I like the ones who know me, they know what I like, even if they do a little research on, you know, knowing my past, sending a book, trying to find that personal touch. I can tell you I have gotten the same things on my desk every month from 3 different LOs. And to be honest, we don't even open them. So I think doing less mass marketing and really picking who you want to work with is really important. So there's really not one particular experience, but there's definitely a difference in making it feel like a personal experience versus, you know, something that just shows up to your office every month.
Yeah, that's great. And I think for the community, we need to understand we got to try things. And if it sucks, it sucks, and it doesn't matter. You're better off trying something that doesn't work than not trying at all. Researching your realtor, huge. Be really careful with whatever marketing you're sending. Probably need to make sure that you're not using the same service that every other LO is using, which we did that on our very first call, Dave. So Stacy, that's great. And it's that personal connection. John, talk to us about what your mailing list is needing, what they're wanting the most. What would be the best value you could give them? And then tell me about what approach and or service and or gimmick, if you will, that a loan originator hits you with that you said, I'm using that LO because they're awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that. So what I'm seeing right now as a demand is people needing to know the information about how to apply for subsidies from the government. And we have a lot of programs in place. So I did a Facebook Live for my clients, just everybody on Facebook. And then I think maybe mental health. Mental health is something that they all need. So I started another Facebook group for Mind, Body, and Soul, and just invited, you know, I'm just inviting one by one. I should do a mass invite into it. And everybody just shares, you know, what are you doing for the next 30 days for your mind, body, and soul, and check in daily. So mental health and subsidies and, you know, just any positive stuff right now that I can give them, and just calling them not to say, hey, who do you know is thinking about buying or selling, but, you know, how are you doing? Right. I think that's what they need right now, support, someone to just talk to and just be genuine about it. How a mortgage broker has won me over. I'll just talk about my guy locally here. It was kind of like this. I would refer somebody over, and previously a mortgage broker would just say, okay, well, let's get you pre-approved, and, you know, oh, you either qualify or you don't. And that was it. Right. However, my guy right now, he would actually have creative strategies to get them qualified. And if they didn't really want to buy, they didn't have to buy. He was such a good salesperson, even better than I am, to say, you know what, you need to buy with John. Like, you need to close a deal. Like, we need to buy now because the rates are going this way, that way, blah, 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 blah. And they'll always be like, John, we need to take action now. So that's how one mortgage broker would win me over.
I love it. Yeah. So he will close the sale for you, which is great. I will do a shameless plug every day. Facebook, 3 o'clock, go to the University of Attitude. I do a 13-minute attitude workout. If your attitude needs to be worked out, you come check me out at the University of Attitude. We've done 22 shows. We're doing it every day. And I give you attitude exercises to do to strengthen that mind, body, and spirit. We'd love to have you join us. Okay, Tina. Tell us about your customer, your client base. What are they craving? What do they need the most? What would be a value delivery to them? And then give us a superstar story of a loan originator that crushed it for you.
Awesome. Okay, so for agents, please use your brain. That's my request. I have been, and I don't know if I have a lot of agent connections in my feeds from being a KW recruiter for years. And like, I've been horrified by some of like the tasteless marketing, recycled content, copy paste that clearly wasn't written by you, etc. So like, I'm definitely a fan of quality marketing. So I'm super judgy in case you didn't pick that up in the last minute. But like, I think there's such an opportunity to use your brain, think hard, and then do something great that makes an impact on people. So whatever your skill is, whether it's your intelligence, your sense of humor in a way where you don't need to be PC, but just at least be like thoughtful about what you're joking about in a way that people can appreciate in a sensitive time. And just try to avoid being thoughtless and insensitive, which is something I've seen. And I mean, it's kind of an opportunity for people who care about how they present themselves online, because you can really separate yourself from the people who aren't being thoughtful for whatever reason. So for me, it's kind of what I already said, but I've gone deeper into my email marketing, being better than ever, really thoughtful. We're upping our gift game with that program I mentioned. I've been really purposeful to demonstrate the business acumen and intelligence that I have in my years of experience. And I think people start to value experience more in a troublesome market. So that's been something that's been on my side. And the other thing that I'm doing is making sure that I'm doing things that are more at a mass scale, but don't feel that way. So I can leverage my time as much as possible, because I also have a business to run. So I can't just do lead generation and then do all the other things to keep our business going, especially where our transactions are getting harder in our market and stuff like that. So I'm looking for ways to use social media and marketing where I'm getting people to respond to me, and then I engage with the people who want to engage, versus making calls for hours a day. And I don't mean to down that, but like, I'm just at a point in my career where I don't feel like doing that anymore. So I've just been more creative to get people to come to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
and then what a loan officer has done, I've said this before, because Dave's had me interview with mortgage coach content a few times, and I love the lenders that I partner with locally, and yet we tend to bring the most to the table. So I think it's just like a perennial challenge. The number one thing that our loan officers have helped us with is paying for the events that we do, which is not helpful if you're on a budget and don't want to throw more money at your realtor partners. So my encouragement would be to suggest and plan an event for and with your agent partners, and help with some aspect of it. Maybe it's the cost, maybe it isn't. There's so many ways to do things that are free right now anyway. Like that software I mentioned, you can send postcards out for free. There's like a whole way that you set that up. So there's also ways to just be really smart about what you're spending. And then I would recommend maybe having a menu of events that you can help your agent partners with. One being fun, like trivia or bingo or whatever. One of them being educational, like what we're doing with The Economist, or just the state of the market. Something that's relevant to a whole audience and not like a buy and sell conversation if you want to hit the whole database. And then maybe one that's charitable, where there's something in the community where people could donate money or make something or create a resource, and then come to your partners with ideas, and they can pick one that is relevant to their personality and the type of people that are in their sphere. That's what I wish someone would hand deliver me. So.
Right. And that again gets into mortgage coach community. You know, we are becoming more than calculators, right? And I said this last week. McDonald's serves cheeseburgers, but they also market movies. And I want you guys to think of, you know, you're there to get the Happy Meal for the real estate broker, and understanding that, you know, unfortunately, everybody has to do more. And I personally think the way to the heart and mind of a realtor is to become a marketing maven, a video genius, and to take the burden of marketing off of your realtor partners. And hey, it's just the way it is. And this is the pivot. It's the new normal. And you better get hip to it, or you're going to get crushed by somebody who is. All right. Thank you, Tina. That was awesome. Nicole, talk to us about your client base. What are they needing? What are they feeling? What are they communicating? What are you delivering? And then give us a story of your rock star lender, and then we'll be on to Scott after that.
So I think everyone's craving information right now. I always joke, and I'm sure Dave's heard me say this before, but my crystal ball broke in the financial crisis in 2008. So it hasn't really worked since then. So I can't really predict what's going to happen, but people want information, and they want real information. I'm going to piggyback what Tina said. It's actually quite disgusting, some of the things that we've seen on Facebook from our peers, and the copy and paste and the repeats and the just sheer fake news that's going around. I would just urge everyone to put real information and facts out there. And honestly, sometimes the news isn't even factual. So really just get your news from the right resources, the government resources, you know, the CDC, your associations, you know, those types of places, rather than just, you know, my mom sent me something yesterday and I was like, where did you hear that? And her response was YouTube. Like, people are getting their news from so many different sources right now, and we have to be the leaders to put the right information out there, because there are people who listen to us, you know, even though we don't see it. You know, when I post something on Facebook, you can see how many people view it. We have an impact, and we have a responsibility to our clients to give them the facts.
Right, right. That's good. And so when you talk about, just really quick, the facts and the information, what does that like mean? Like, what specifically do you think your people, what would you send to your people where they go, wow, now that's good information, that's accurate, that is helpful and valuable? What's your thought on that?
One example of the video that we sent out a few weeks ago is when the Fed lowered the rates to 0. Everybody was like, yay, free interest, you know, no, you know, 0% loans. And we really had to clear up what that actually meant to consumers. Just
Right.
the Fed lowers it to 0 doesn't mean that you're getting free loans. And it's really a hard concept for people to understand, especially if they're not in our world. You know, I always say, you know, if I'm sick, I go to the doctor. You know, I don't go to the post office. You know, and so I don't really know what a doctor does. I'm not trained to be a doctor. And so we shouldn't expect anyone to know what we do. You know, I always just say, talk to people like they're toddlers, you know, put it in layman's terms so they can really understand.
Yeah, cool, cool. Well, that's great, Nicole. Thank you. And then your Rockstar Loan Originator, one thing they did, one approach, one service that they're providing, or one thing that you would say, God, if I could find an LO that would just do this, what would it be?
So we do monthly homebuyer seminars, the first-time homebuyer education classes, and we're going to actually be doing it virtually this time. And I had a loan officer come to me, I would say like 4 months ago, trying to get business, and you know, we get hit up. All realtors on this call know that we get hit up at least daily by a LO trying to get some business. So it was just the same old song and dance. But he asked me what I was doing, and we mentioned a few things, including the homebuyer seminar class. And he said, "Well, can I come teach it?" And I was like, heck yes, because it's a 2-hour class, and anyone who teaches knows that it's exhausting to answer questions and do the same old dog and pony dance, you know, every month.
Right.
In front of, you know, 20, 25 people. He came in and he killed it. He was, you know, he's like a natural teacher. He shows compassion. You can tell that he cares. And we had such good feedback, and we actually had about 15 referrals from that particular home buying seminar.
So yeah, there's some value, right? Not doing good faith estimates, not handing out rate sheets, whatever, but engaging with your client base and mortgage coach community. That is what I'm talking to you about. Now, just imagine this. Look it, she just said, I had a loan originator do a first-time home buyer seminar for me. Do you understand? There's like 15 different things you could be doing for realtors besides a first-time home buyer seminar, but that captivated her, and that's been around for 10 years. Your job as a loan originator is to bring new content, new ideas, new energy to the client bases of these mega agents that we have on our show. And that is why we're going to turn this over to Scott now, because he's going to help us understand how Mortgage Coach and those tools can benefit these mega agents and their clients. So Scott, it's all you. And
well,
great to hear
real quick, Scott, before you go, I want to frame it. I want to remind everybody what Scott is doing now is he's bringing leadership. He's going to bring market facts, and he's going to share a strategy that is going to help realtors sell more homes. And everything he's going to do is going to show up in a way that, hey, if you refer someone to me, I'm going to do more than a pre-approval. I'm going to help convert them. You heard John talk like, what do I want from my agent? Hey, I don't want a lender that could do a transaction, because a lot of them could do that. I want someone that's going to improve my conversion and increase urgency. So Scott, pressure's on. I'm going to set the timer. You have 5 minutes. And then we're going to go boom, and then we're going to get impressions from the agents.
Got it. Love it. So first of all, I apologize. Background noise is an HVAC unit going in the garage. So that's the home office. So number one, I picked one of you on the panel to showcase, and that was you, Nicole. So I'm going to focus on you. I'm going to share my screen. Did a little bit of homework on you. One thing I realized actually this morning, We actually, the lender you use, we'll leave the name out, I'm actually friends with. So, and this is a mega producing LO that she works with. So this works well for everyone as an LO in the mortgage coach group. So don't be intimidated by their existing realtor or lender relationship. So if they're doing X amount of business, you're showing them something new, you should be able to generate above and beyond business. So you see my screen. You see it?
We do. We see Zillow.
So, yep. So Nicole, I researched you last week, found this property was 146 days on market before, and you price dropped it, I think, that actually day I researched you. So we're going to focus on this property, and I'm going to bring two things to Nicole. I'm going to help her with financing and education to a potential consumer. I'm going to help her market this. So the first presentation I did, and before we get into that, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go backwards. I want everyone to pick up their phone right now. And I want you to text her address here, just the name of the street, capital, to that number right now, please. So text their name of the street, capital, to that 714 number. Everyone do that. And what I'm going to deliver to that number right now is a total cost, or actually the reports I did for Nicole. And think of as a consumer driving by her listing, this is what Nicole and I are going to deliver to potential consumers. Let's go back to the property right now. Here's where she was facing last week. Row one, she was 146 days on market, priced at $919, and basically the financials for potential buyer with 5% down with excellent credit, they're looking at all in at $2967. And that's an issue, because do you all agree on the panel right now that the consumer's probably bringing on debt? Yes, which is going to lower their FICO score, which is going to increase the ratios and maybe spending a little bit of their down payment. We have to, Nicole and I have to help the consumers coming in today's market as they're pivoting out of this virus or pandemic, because they're going to have some dents and scratches. So that's what they were looking at. She dropped it 10,000 in row two, and that would be her solution. If she did, she's going to save a potential buyer $55. Lenders, ratio-wise, she just saved a potential buyer 2% on her ratios. We didn't do much there. Row three, I'm going to introduce Nicole to what's called the seller buy-down. For the same amount of money in row three, if we got a fair and full price offer of $519,900, which where my comps sit, and I structure as a lender internally with the purchase contract and internally at the bank, I can lower their price down to $2693.88, which is a 9% drop in ratios, which is a monthly savings to that consumer of $274. To put it in perspective how powerful this is, the fourth row, I put normal financing back into place. I dropped it $50,000, and I have the same payment and savings as the 10,000 seller buy now. This video goes out to consumers. The one I did for her, I recorded. That's me in the corner talking to Nicole directly, kind of off record, how we structure it. The next video that you got on your phone was the consumer-facing version of this. So when that consumer, either the social media post with a hyperlink or the yard sign that we would put out that we can drive by, would look something like this, and they can text into the number and get these reports. This is how we're going to impact the consumers moving forward. And think of this. Does she drop it 50? If the only offer is $469, do we drop it 50 and lose 50 net off the seller's net sheet, or do we structure a $519 full price offer of the seller buy down? Because the payments are the same. This is how we're going to protect, and think of this, what an easier approach Nicole could have, going back to her seller and goes, guys, we're comped out. I'm going to bring my lender in. He's going to put these presentations together. So for $10,000 investment, I'm going to increase your net or protect $40,000 on your net sheet. And not only that, I will help Nicole going, Nicole, I want you to introduce me to your seller, because we can implement this on your up leg. And so I'm going to give you this as we leave. Second set of texts, I'm going to run 2 webinars or 2 Zooms this Friday. Loan officers, text LLP, I'll give you the Zoom link. Agents, text seller buy down realtor, I'll give you the Zoom link there. And I'll see you this Friday.
Awesome.
Boom. So dude, you did it 5 minutes, 10 seconds.
So,
Gave a deliverable to everybody so that they can engage with you outside of the meeting and get more education or have questions later on. Scott, if you could put those links and directions and comments down below. And here's the deal, guys. As a mortgage professional, a mortgage advisor, you need to bring advice and value. That one, in this particular case, it's helping a realtor not have to make a price reduction. Like, how many of you guys would love it if a lender had done the research and said, guys, I have this property, I see this property, it's been on the market. Here's an idea to help you bring more net proceeds to the family and avoid a price reduction. Would you guys like that?
yes. Can I say something?
Of course. It's, by the way, I'm handing it back to you now.
Okay. Well, Scott, I am a buy down, just love the buy down program. I use the buy down program. Look, we believe that the luxury market is going to take a hit more than any market right now because of this, although rich people always have money. But what a listing tool. I mean, an incredible listing tool. And I know that you package that in a video. So for an agent, just to simply send that video with you explaining it's huge. And, you know, I've never met a seller that says, oh, great, let's drop the price 60 grand. And I know that monthly payment still sells even in the upper end. So that is just like so incredible. I'm going into a 550 and I and a $1.2 million listing this week. And I use the seller buy down strategy. I'm going to get both listings, but I'm also going to be getting a price reduction. So for expired listings and as a listing tool, that's just killer. Dave, what I just thought I would do, if it's okay with you, is just get into the minds of these mega producers, because you know what, you guys are people too. And I think that you guys are winners and in the top 1% for a reason. And I think it's not just because you're superstar real estate agents, it's probably because you're pretty unbelievable people. So if it's okay, what I'd like to do is just end on a positive note. I know this is cold and you're going to go, I don't know what to say, but tell me how you are staying positive. Tell me what is great about your business now. And just what positive message would you like to share with the mortgage coach community to keep them up? To keep them positive and let them know that you're not untouchable, that you are human beings. And as long as they don't suck, they're going to be able to engage with you and do business. So just something positive off the top of your head, and then we can end the call just to help everybody feel good and let them know that the earth is not falling. So Stacy, how about you open up? Oh, unmute.
Every time, sorry.
Okay.
You know, I think it's important, especially I think a lot of us on here are team leaders, to find everybody's personality to help them feel like they're still moving forward when the business definitely has slowed for everyone. My personality to help me go is to provide value in ways that might cheer someone up. I know we talked about people just want to hear from people. So, you know, I used my own voice yesterday and we deliver sidewalk chalk with a cute little message, and our team's having a contest. It's dollar sidewalk chalk that we bought, you know, and gave out to clients. You know, my staff, they're probably the ones that are enjoying this the most. They're the introverts in the group. So I'm definitely keeping them busy with all the behind the scene projects that we would not get to. So I can honestly say that we have done more behind the scenes in the last month than we would probably get to in the whole quarter. So for me, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, we are still progressing and just trying to work behind the scene to really bring the value not only to our business, but to the others. I would really encourage you to dive deep and keep in overly contact with, you know, the realtors that you want to work with. I think this is really a fresh start for so many people, and take a chance. I think a lot of people are afraid to approach people that they feel like sell a lot of homes. And I mean, if you're approaching them by sending them something every week in the mail, that's probably not the right approach, but take that risk, pick up the phone, take the time to get to know maybe some of the people that you'd like to work with, and just stay positive. Like the team has said here that's on this call, people are watching us. So be respectful, be empathetic, but most importantly, find a few things that you can add not only value to your day, but to everybody else's.
Awesome, Stacy. And the sidewalk chalk, brilliant.
It was fun.
Brilliant and very personal and on point. John Tsai, give us your motivational 2-minute speech, baby. Tell us why everything's wonderful.
I totally got gapped out. I was talking to my daughter when you're saying that. So she's a year and a half old. I was like, oh, you're so cute. I want to talk to you. So my motivational speech to close the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? Stay consistent. Even though you're home, stick to a schedule, you know, and then community, you know, contribute, you know, do some charity work, go out there and just be of a contribution. If you are contributing to others, you can't get into your own head. And, you know, just, you know, I'm doubling up on everything. I'm doubling up on my meditation, my workouts twice a day. I'm doubling up on journaling, just trying to inundate myself with positive stuff, reading books. Like, you know, if I do 5 pages now, I do 10, if not 20, right? And then I'm always, if I'm in my head, then I just reach out. So contact people, be in communication with people, and yeah, contribution. What else? Gosh, just being positive overall, right? For people. So,
I think we'll call that the John Tsai doubling philosophy. Whatever you do, do twice as much, including listing presentations and sales, right? Get so busy that you can't focus on the negative. So John, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. All the way from Canada. We need to get Mortgage Coach up in Canada, John. We're going to talk to you about that. All right, Tina, I know you got some good nuggets for our group and our people that are watching this. How are we going to keep people positive, and why is everything wonderful?
Well, thank you. I've gotten so much out of this. I've been like muting myself and making notes the whole time. So I have 3 thoughts. The first is, this is kind of a weird way to say it, but like sometimes when things are hard and it feels like nothing's working, I adopt this mindset of being like a scientist where I'm just going to experiment until I find something that works and detach from the outcome. There have been times in the last 2 months, however, I don't even know how long this whole like COVID thing has really been like impacting us, but it feels like that, where I just was like, I didn't know what to do. And I was like out of ideas or really frustrated by deals falling through, listings canceling, you name it. And one thing I've just been working to cultivate in myself is to just tap into my inner wisdom and know that if I don't know the answer, to just wait and then it will appear. And that has been working really well for me. So just pausing until I see the clear path, and understanding that when I'm in an uncertain time, that it may not all just clarify and come together, but it, like John said, be consistent, stay the course, and things will come together if I keep showing up. So that's the first thing. And there have been days where I'm like great with that, and then there's days where I'm frustrated. So the second thing is for me to find what's working and focus on that and be grateful. I was stressing, we had a 2-week gap where we didn't put a single property under contract, and I was fixating on that. And then I remembered that I have the opportunity at any moment to shift my mindset to something that is working. And there's always plenty of great things in our business, a lead, a referral, a nice interaction. It might need to be super, super micro if you're in like a really dark spot where a lot isn't working, but that helps me. And the third thing is I've repeatedly forgotten and then brought back to the front of my mind that this is opportunity time. I did get licensed in 2005. I worked 2008 through 2012, which was the worst part of my market in the Baltimore Metro. And I made my career. I am who I am today because of that. And I have a very strong business and a very big database and tons of great relationships. And I did have to work hard through that time, But if I look at this as actually chapter 2 for me, or maybe for you, it's the first time, or maybe it's your 5th bad market if you've been in the industry a long time, like this is an opportunity. There are people who are not going to get virtual. They're not going to use social media. They're not going to embrace video, and you can capture that business. So just keep moving forward and remember that, and this won't last forever. And where do we want to be on the other side? Even if it isn't pretty right now, there's so much opportunity. So just don't give up.
And that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time today. And out to the Golden Coast, Nicole, give us some love and some hope from Napa Valley.
How can you follow Tina? She should always go last and wrap it up because she's always so good.
She is good. There's no doubt.
So I don't know if anybody else is like me, but John mentioned doubling down, and I heard him say he's doubling down on going to the gym. I'm like, the only thing I'm doubling down on is my calories right now. It's a problem. So what I'm telling to my clients right now, and even to my team members and vendors, is, you know, I don't know who says the quote, but it's when you can choose to be right or kind, always be kind and you'll always be right. And I think that we just need to remember that mindset, that kindness is really important right now. There's a lot of stress, but everybody in the world is going through this. It's not isolated to Napa. It's not isolated to California, even the United States. Like the entire world is going through this, and it's stressful. And we all just need to be a little empathetic and understanding and just slow down and realize that we're going to get through this, and the only way out is to get through. And people have been really rude lately, and I'm just taking it all with a grain of salt, and, you know, understanding that it's hard to be at home with kids and homeschool on Zoom and run a business and be an entrepreneur and not know if you're going to get your PPP and not know when the next deal is going to fall through or get put on the board. It's stressful, but I'm not the only one going through it. And just remembering that and keeping that mindset, I think, has helped me stay positive, because you're not alone concept.
That's beautiful, Nicole. And I always mention this when I'm being interviewed, that as awful as COVID-19 is, the reality is this, in its worst form, 9 million people a year die of starvation, global starvation, 9 million people. And so when we think about, you know, COVID is deadly, I understand this, but you know what? I think about being in a third world country with no food, with nothing. And I sit there as I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which most of us are doing twice a day, right? 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, finished with 2 bottles of wine at the end of the day. I think about how fortunate we still truly are. So Nicole, that was beautiful. Let's go to Scott, man. I know Scott's got a 2-minute motivational speech for us to end the day.
Oh, I didn't know you were coming back.
Come on, I know you're good. I know.
Hey, why don't we do this, Scott? Let's give you a minute. I'm going to share a few thoughts, and then we'll let you close it out, just so you are you get at least a minute to think about what you're going to say, brother.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do the whole theme on, you know, how to stay mentally happy, because I think you guys have crushed it. But I think on a positive note that, you know, because I'm a technologist, an entrepreneur, and I have for over a decade been trying to help loan officers deliver better advice to families driven through technology. And this is just a reality. Like the whole world has gone through this massive acceleration of adopting virtual tools. Like we had a birthday party, my grandparents, or my mom and dad, my kids' grandparents, they know what Zoom is and they loved it. And so all of our customers have adopted, and here's the deal, guys, it's not gonna go away. Like, yeah, we will be able to meet in person again, but there's always gonna be this more of a hybrid experience. Like, you know, do we wanna do something virtually or do we wanna do something in real world? And I do believe for the people that can change, can unlearn some bad habits and relearn some new ones, guys, you're gonna pick up market share, you're gonna crush it. So I guess that should make you feel good. So here at Mortgage Coach, we're dedicated to helping loan officers be that advisor. Like what Scott did, teaching a strategy to help sell a home, that's the seller buy down over here on the left. And so one of the things I would push everybody to do, don't double down on Netflix, double down on improving your skills as a realtor, double down on improving your skills as a loan officer. You know, that's why we do training every day of the week. I don't know, man, I might have to start doing like a Wednesday realtor session now, Glenn. You got me kind of into it. But if you need beginners on how to be a mortgage advisor, every Monday we're doing live training. Every Tuesday I'm interviewing someone awesome. Today at 11 o'clock, we will have a mortgage coach genius teaching mortgage strategies. And I'm gonna make sure we talk about seller buy down at 11 o'clock today with a live trainer. Every Thursday, it truly is the Genius Bar at Mortgage Coach. We've got one of our success managers teaching you how to use our platform and how to deliver mortgage strategies. So guys, it really, like, if I had one last push, it's, we are a source of knowledge. So binge watch Mortgage Coach, but look for other content providers that are just making you a more effective mortgage professional. So that was my 2 minutes. Scott, I'll give it to you for 2 minutes, and then Glenn, I'll let you close it out for the day.
Cool.
Yeah, I think what was listening to everyone on the panel is they're really kind of dying for more help from their financial partners, right? And we're all in financing. And I painted the picture clearly that the consumer who entered the COVID crisis, let's call it February 1st, and when they exit, let's say, you know, May, June, or July, and they're getting back into the market, they're going to be different. I mean, literally all those pre-quals that started back in February have changed dramatically. From whatever they've done, they've spent less income. I was looking at a poll yesterday in a local Facebook group, and I was shocked how many people, one, still have jobs, which is great, but I was shocked about how much 10, 20% less pay they're earning. So that's going to impact the buyers. I don't care if it's an entry level or the top, Glenn, we're going to struggle. And that's why it's critical that we come together, we work together so we can work these financial strategies and get it to market, into where everyone who texted me, that phone number, now I've gathered all your information. I've texted most of you back already. I'm now lead genning for my agent partners now. So now I can follow up to every single person that walked into that open house or that social media post, or if Nicole and I sold the house, we're going to send this strategy out to the farm and say, we're protecting your values and here's how we did it. So I'll leave it at that. And I'm going to run 2 Zooms this Friday, one for LOs and one for agents. And I'll put it in the comments below.
Cool.
Guys, Glenn,
you.
you crushed it, brother. Thank you very much, man. I'll let you close it.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Stacy, Tina, Nicole, and John. You guys are rock stars, superstar realtors, and we're so grateful for your wisdom and knowledge. I hope that you join me at the University of Attitude sometime, where our passion is to change the world one attitude at a time. I want everybody on the call to understand this. It's not about the world. It is about your world, especially now. It's time to protect yourself. It is time to help your customers. It's not necessarily time to sell. The time to sell will come, but the real value will occur by helping your customers. I am on Facebook every day at 3 trying to help you understand this simple concept. You cannot win in business and you cannot win in life until you win in your mind first. And that's what we work on every day at 3 o'clock at the University of Attitude on Facebook. I'm dedicated to all of you who come. I'm thankful to everybody, especially you, Dave, that I get to share. And the greater times are coming. The new normal is wonderful. Embrace it. Don't be afraid of it, because great times are ahead.
All right, guys, if you got value from this, give us a like down below. This will be live in our YouTube channel for anybody who wants to share it with their team. For all you branch managers, I recommend that you watch this with your team and you do masterminds like this with the agents that you have. Think of Glenn as my best realtor. You know, my favorite realtor. I know him really well. He's loyal. He helped me put together a group of realtors. They got value. Any lender that watched this got value. So my hope is that this is just leading by example. And I'm going to see more of you do these types of things. And then remember, it's not only important that you create great content like this, it's how you distribute that content on Facebook. You're tagging people. If you're not following Bill Hillstad's social media mastermind bootcamp, where he teaches you how to build your Facebook custom groups, and he teaches you how to promote this, you should check it out, because you got to create great content, and then you need to distribute that content on Facebook and other channels in a way that's intelligent and optimized. This call is a wrap. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.